Mark Gordon from Shaking the Southland joining us. You, of course, can join him, Ryan Cantor, and the rest of the staff there on the SB Nation platform for the Tigers. All right. Early signing period. Did it matter? Dabo Sweeney, like about let's see, 10 or 12 coaches across college football had to deal with one less true recruiting week because of the ACC championship game, but it didn't seem much to matter, at least in regards to the final results. But what is your take based on what you heard out of the head coach's mouth and just what you perceived?
Dabo Swinney is a fan of the early signing period. Me personally, it kind of scares me a little bit. I see the purpose of it. You have the young men. They've made their decision. They've been firm for 12 months. They want to get it over with. You know, you talk to a lot of these kids, and one of the things they tell you is recruiting is annoying. And when you've made your decision 12 months in advance, a lot of these head coaches are like bulldogs. Nick Saban didn't get to where he is by giving up on these recruiting kids. So your phone is going off and going off and going off. So a lot of kids, they want to get it over with. They want to end it completely. Hey, my recruitment's done. I'm signing with my school. That's not the case for every single person out there. You know, you have children, and that's what these are. These are kids. You know, they're making the biggest decision in their lives. They have a lot of people chirping in their ears, and they want to think it over. So they need the extra time, which is why the second signing day is so important. The problem is we've kind of diminished a college offer. An offer has to mean something. So when a coach goes out there and throws 50 scholarship offers to students and 20 of them accept it during the early signing period, you may have someone who's been committed to a school but still thinking about it, going toward that national signing day period, the second period, and that offer might be pulled, and that can pull some carpets out from under the feet. Now, it also can work the other way. You look particularly with Clemson during National Signing Day, like we said, they were scrambling for a quarterback. They went for Patrick Surtain. He's the number one cornerback in the nation. He ended up signing with Alabama. They also ended up going for Trevor Flowers, who's a three-star safety out of Georgia, who ended up signing with Tennessee. Clemson actually offered him 2 weeks before the final signing day period, and he went with Tennessee. So you have some kids that are getting some increased exposure. And the number one fear for these college coaches has to be jerking these kids around. Yeah, the linebacker, Dax Hollifield out of Shelby, North Carolina, he ended up signing with Virginia Tech. Clemson came up to him about 2 weeks before signing day. They said, hey, look, we've been telling you we're interested in you for quite some time. We have a spot for you now. We got a couple transfers. We're going to throw you a solid offer. Dax went out and said, hey, thanks, but no thanks. And, you know, he ended up signing with Virginia Tech. Clemson was considered, but you have to consider the fact that there's the possibility that you're throwing an offer at somebody and that offer doesn't mean anything. You know, you hear the athletes complain, or you hear the coaches complain about the potential, you know, what does a commitment mean if the players are flip-flopping? Well, if we get angry at what a commitment is, what is an offer if you throw an offer out there and then revoke that offer later? So while I certainly see the benefit of it, it does scare me in the potential situation where coaches may be throwing out too many offers. And look, it's the hardest part of a coach's job. You have to fill out your signing classes. You have to throw out those offers. Sometimes you get lucky, but at the same time, you have to keep that offer, and it has to mean something to the kids.
And that is the side of the coin that is much less publicized than the kids flipping, is the offers that get pulled. We rarely hear about that. We know that it happens, but it's not as publicized. We know when the kids flip because the commits are publicized. Therefore, when they flip, we all know about it. I am just thinking out loud that I wonder what the harm would be. And I'm sure there's about 5 points that could be fired back at me immediately. That if there's just an open signing period, meaning every day is the signing period. That way, there's always an update. There's no conjecture on, wow, we've got these kids committed. We don't know who's going to flip, who's going to truly be available or stand with their commitment versus the offers that we have. It's kind of a running tote board all the time. And once the kid comes off the board, if he truly is committed and a hard commit that is just waiting for the signing period, he doesn't have to wait for the signing period, signs his name. He's no longer bothered. The school never, and the coach doesn't any longer have to conjecture over whether he's going to sign. It's done, and then they can move on with one less spot open.
I like that idea because that idea is in the kid's best interest. That's why I like it. The young man, when he's finally made his decision, he can accept that. Unfortunately, the reason it would never be done is for the marketing purposes. You know, you look at National Signing Day, this player is going to announce on ESPNU, this player is going to announce on ESPN2. The NCAA is going to have to consider, you know, hey, what happens if this person changed their mind? Are we going to let them out of their LOI? The answer to me, the answer to that question should always be yes, because it's in the student athlete's best interest. But there's just so many that marketing aspect, you know, ESPN, the NCAA with the rules violations and the amount of paperwork it takes to release somebody from a letter of intent. I love the idea. Unfortunately, I just don't think it'll ever happen.
I gave it all of about 8 seconds of thought, just hanging on your last few sentences there. So I'm not pushing this as a well thought out plan.
I'll join you.
Good stuff from Mark Orton from Shaking the South Lane, breaking down the Clemson Tigers recruiting class, #1 in the ACC. Mark, it's always a pleasure. Hopefully we can catch up with you sometime close to spring football and get things all set up.
Absolutely. Love being on, Mark. Great show.